Hello, powerful one. Welcome to yet another edition of our inner growth into Osezuah Elimihe. I intend to let you understand that things are always all right with you. There has never been a time things have not been all right. From the moment you were conceived till the moment you were born, till this time that you are listening to this video right now, things have always been all right with you. But the question has been, have you been all right with yourself? The temptation has always been for us to imagine how things are not doing well around us, how people are negative towards us, how society, how the trajectory of human realities in our country, in our community, in our family, or even the entire world is defining our realities, and we make that sources of concern. So because of the treacheries or the negativities around us, we have acquired the habit of withdrawing into our shells. Not withdrawing into our beings, but our shells, which is the outer covering of our beings, which we have mistaken for our true beings. When we do that, what happens is that we lose trust in life. We start thinking that it is by our defenses, it is by our actions that we win. We forget one fact, that there was a time in the history of our being when we were actually nothing. We had no say in the things that made us what we are in this world. This body, there was a time it was a microscopic entity. It was just a combination of two things, a sperm cell and an ovum. They came together. It could only be seen under the view of a very powerful microscope. And you were in your mother's womb for some months. And there you were very helpless. You didn't go looking for what to eat. You didn't know how to do that. You were just there, incubating and growing. From that infinitesimal organism, your body grew at birth to about 5, 4, 6 pounds. Some people even weigh as much as 7 pounds at birth. And you wonder what magic led to that. At that particular point in time, you didn't have a say. You came into this world from your infancy, when you were most dependent, when you were most trusting of life. You grew astronomically. From that infancy to a toddler, all of that, you became 15 big. Compare the growth between that time and that time. It was all happening in an environment of absolute trust and in a state of absolute helplessness. That was where your power was. The magic of the human being works majestically when the human being learns to trust. When the human being learns the act of helplessness. You have heard it said that heaven helps those who help themselves. People have come to say it's a lie, that heaven helps those who cannot help themselves. But the reality is that it is very correct. But don't see it on the face value. Those who do not block the flow of the riches of life into their lives are helping themselves. And then the riches of life come into their lives. I tell you this thing, that trusting is a very important ingredient of life. And what ingredient is that? It is the pleasure ingredient. It makes life sweet. It makes life beautiful. There was a day, about 2 weeks ago, I needed to see my aunt, who had been in Lagos for the past, only God knows how many months. I kept promising that I would see her, but I never got to make it. Then one day, I said I was going to see her on that day. Once I left my meeting, I thought I was going to have a meeting that was very short. But that meeting turned out to be very long. I couldn't see her on that day. I promised her that the next day I would see her. She's in Okota. As I woke up that morning, it was raining heavily. I knew that if I didn't make that trip on that day, I would not be able to see her before she would return to Benin. I had my bath, dressed up, entered the car, and I drove. It got to a point that I was the only car on the road. Other cars, maybe they had been advised. There was a flood. The rain was pouring. When I looked behind me, I saw a pool that was as full as where I was at that time. The thought was, if I went back, it would be equal to swimming in the same flood as if I went forward. I chose to go forward. I started going slowly. And there was a particular trailer that came to pass me. The entire tires of that trailer were almost covered by the water. How water did not come into my car is still a wonder to me today. It means that whoever built that car did a great job. That water could not seep into it as much as it was. There was no way I could have opened that car to come out of it. And I couldn't have stayed in the car in the rain, in that flood, and stayed on the spot. It would have been dangerous. I just kept moving. But when I was moving, I had one understanding, that it was going to be well. The outcome of this will be for my best. I didn't choose that day to go out by accident. All things were working for my good. The level of trust was unbelievable. It's also the same level of trust that happens to people who cannot defend themselves. They are moving in an environment that they don't understand, but they have to move. And something happens that threatens people's lives. People are running here, people are running there, people are all over the place. But a human being who has trust does not do that. A human being asks a simple question: what is the best course of action now? Because in the absence of trust is hysteria. And once hysteria steps in, every decision you'll be making will be illogical, because that time your conscious mind is out of the circuit and the subconscious mind takes over, and the subconscious mind begins to make choices that are purely irrational, that are crisis prone. You don't want the subconscious mind at that time to run your show. What I'm trying to say to us is that when you remove the element of trust from life, you are running at an illogical computation. The consciousness level that is contained in running when there is no trust, when there is no faith in life, is very low. You are not bound to have an optimum life. So you need to trust. Trust is a pleasure ingredient in the meal called life. Don't lose it. People say when things are looking bad, believe that it's going to be all right. That's okay. But the best way is not to believe that it is going to be. It's to believe that it is all right. Because from your conception to that moment of your life, things have always been all right. What has always been the problem is that you plug out of the all rightness. You plug out from the frequency where things are perpetually all right, and you came into the frequency where things are not all right. You suffer. Right now, the advice from me to you, my friend, is for you to come back and plug back into where things have always and are always all right. It is always well with you. That is the gospel. That is the truth. Don't panic. Don't succumb to panic no matter what is happening. And what makes that possible is trust. If you have this understanding that come rain or shine, it is always well with you. Come hail or flood, it's always well with you. Come fire or brimstone, it's always well with you. No matter what happens, life means well for you. That trust will take away illogicality from your decisions. It will take away irrationality. It will take away all forms of problems. I tell you this, that it is well with you. Trust in life. Because it is in trust that a lot of possibilities and magic happen. I am Osezuah Anthony Elimihe. You know me, I am in the game of helping you grow from inside out. That is the drill. That is the message for today. I hope it's connected one way or the other with you. If it does, please share this video and connect with us every day. There are videos to be seen here. Come in and share with your friends. We want to build a world that is filled with people of consciousness, that is filled with the people of good graces. You are one of them. Celebrate your life. God bless you.